Hi there, this is Dennis Wang, and welcome to NEU676 Clinical Bioinformatics and Personalization of Medicines module, part of the Genomic Medicine program. This advanced bioinformatics module will be taught by a variety of instructors from academia, NHS hospitals, and pharmaceutical. In this module, you will gain skills that allow you to perform clinical bioinformatics. What is clinical bioinformatics? It can be defined as the intersection between genomics, informatics, and medicine. In clinical bioinformatics, you will be managing genomic data and using it to understand medical questions. Simply put, clinical bioinformatics can be defined as using computational approaches to answer questions about the biology of genomes and medicine. Clinical bioinformatics is often applied to the genomic analysis pipeline. This is the pathway described by Genomics England, whereby DNA from patients and their phenotypes are inputted into a variant analysis pipeline. This pipeline generates important variants that will be considered by the clinical team treating the patient, and the variants will be ultimately interpreted and presented to the patients. In this module, you will learn two aspects of this pipeline, focusing on gene panels and the validation of outcomes. The variant analysis pipeline in more detail, starts from raw sequence data in the format of FASTQs and ultimately generates a list of prioritized variants that can be reported back to the patient. In this module, we'll look at the prioritized variants across many individuals and assess and compare those variants to the phenotypes of the individuals in order to do further hypotheses testing and generate actionable biomarkers. In this module, we'll be mainly using a tool called RStudio and external datasets. So in this module, we will also show you two examples of generating actionable biomarkers. One example is assessing diagnostic gene panels. Gene panels are lists of genes whereby they have been found to be associated to a particular disease. You will learn how to assess mutations found in these gene panels and whether they can be used as actionable biomarkers to predict the onset of disease. Another example is identifying pharmacological biomarkers. Pharmacological biomarkers are used to stratify a cohort of patients into different groups of patients with different responses to treatment. This forms the basis of personalized medicine. There are three main key learning objectives in this module. The first is you will gain important skills in order to perform advanced data analytics. This is through learning the R statistical programming language, managing large genomic and clinical data sets, and use statistics to apply hypothesis testing to different questions. You'll also learn more about gene panels. You'll be able to identify a gene panel for a particular disease and test linkage of genetic variants in the gene panels to the disease. And thirdly, you'll be able to learn and apply pharmacological biomarkers in different contexts. Firstly, you'll identify response data for a given drug and measure the effect of variants on drug response. This module is composed of 3 milestones. Before March 23rd, you'll be able to understand basic concepts and try exercises through the online lessons that are provided. And this can be done at your own pace. On March 23rd and 24th, you'll have in-class practicals whereby you can work through the exercises with the help of instructors, and you'll be able to ask them questions and get feedback. After March 24th, you'll be able to gain further confidence on the practical skills, reflect on what you've learned, and complete all final assessments. So the online lessons are described in an HTML file, which you can access through Mo and also through Google Classroom. I will go through an example of a lesson later on, but each lesson is composed of readings, videos, exercises, and assessments. Do try all the exercises and go through the entire lesson, even if not everything is clear. The in-class tutorials will be held in the medical school building, which is adjacent to the Royal Hallamshire Hospital in Seminar Room 10, which is on level C. There, you'll get a chance to work through the exercises that's been presented online with the help of instructors, so you can ask questions and sort through any issues. You'll also receive feedback about your performance in these exercises, and you'll be able to ask questions about any additional exercises that's been presented. So there are generally 4 expectations for students on this module. Number 1, and most importantly, do try everything. So do go through all the online material and exercises. Give everything a try. It's okay that if you get stuck or lost, there'll be plenty of opportunities to solve problems with the help of instructors and learn about ways to debug your code and find solutions. And lastly, do remember that all the skills you gain in this module do not just apply strictly to the case studies that we present or even clinical bioinformatics. Some of the data science or data analytics skills you learn could be applied to a wide variety of problems and contexts. This module is composed of 3 assessments. Before March 23rd, you should have completed the online quizzes found at the bottom of each online lesson. These quizzes are there to check that you have attained basic understanding and have completed all the online lessons before the in-class session on March 23rd. After the in-class sessions on April 6th, you would have to submit all your methodology descriptions and scripts used to complete the online lessons. In the in-class sessions, we would have gone through how to structure clear and reproducible methodology descriptions. On April 20th, you would be expected to submit your answers to a new set of exercises, and these will be submitted through Google Form, and your methodology descriptions will be expected to be submitted through Google Classroom because Mo doesn't seem to handle code submissions very well. So there are a few ways to ask questions and discuss issues raised in this module. So like the other modules, there will be a dedicated Google Classroom for this advanced bioinformatics module. And this is where some of the announcements will be made for module, but also all the online material and assessments will be posted here. So do keep your eye out for the Advanced Bioinformatics Google Classroom. You can also email me, the course lead, and also other instructors on the module. And while you're working through some of the exercises, an easy way to find some answers or some troubleshoot some issues is to simply go through Google and type in the question or the problem you're having. There are quite a lot of forums where bioinformaticians communicate, and you can often find solutions to some of the even more obscure problems on these forums. So now let's get started with lesson 1. So to access the online lesson, you can go to the Google Classroom for this module. And I have here posted the timetable for this module. And if you just open the timetable, you should be able to find a link to each of the lessons. So the first lesson 1 is an intro to R programming. And you just simply click the link here. And this should take you to a document for this lesson. And you simply just go through each of the steps. So some steps will ask you to install software, download data. You'll be also asked to do some further reading. And then there's usually a set of video lectures in each lesson that goes through certain theoretical concepts and also the exercises and problems. And at the end of the lesson, you'll be asked to complete a short quiz, which you can access through a link. Okay, so to get started, you have about 3 weeks till the in-class practical. I would say you definitely need a good week to go through all the lessons. And don't be worried or afraid that you haven't gotten everything completely. There'll be plenty of time to kind of answer some questions and sort out issues in the in-class practicals. So good luck and have fun.